Hey there YouTube, this is Vargas XX78 with another collection pickup video. It's really raining outside, so I hope the lighting is okay on this video. But even still, the rain cut off for a while, so I went to two swap meets, picked up some stuff, and I was able to cross the border to pick up something that I want to show you guys, so let's get started. Um, at a place that sells, like secondhand stuff, I was able to pick up a sealed Game Boy Advance game. It comes complete with the box and the manual and everything. Of course, I opened it up because I wanted to play it, but I picked up The Legend of Spyro, the Eternal Night. Spyro the Dragon actually had his origins on the PlayStation 1, developed by the good people at Insomniac. And after Insomniac stopped making the games, Spyro hasn't been that good. But I saw this game cheap. It cost me 90 pesos. And I popped it in the GameCube with the Game Boy player, and it's actually a really fun platformer. You control, of course, Spyro the Dragon as he has to fight enemies and stuff, but the animations on Spyro are really cool for the Game Boy Advance. You level up by getting these dragon artifacts. And so far I'm enjoying this game. I'm actually really glad I bought it. That's one. Then at the same store for the Nintendo DS, I got Jake Hunter, Detective Story, Mysteries of the Past. I wasn't too sure about picking this game up. I actually saw it, asked for the price, got back home, checked a review, and went to the GameStop page to see how much they were worth. They were asking 100 pesos for this, with the conversion rate's like 850, and GameStop has it for 20 bucks, and other stores also have it used for 20 bucks. So I went back to the store and I picked it up, and I'm actually glad I did because this is a game that combines the gameplay from Ace Attorney with the style from Hotel Dusk, both on the Nintendo DS. Basically, you're a detective called Jake Hunter, and you go around solving mysteries. You collect evidence, you interview people, and then by the end of the chapter, you have to figure out who the criminal is. So that's why it reminded me of Ace Attorney, and it has a graphical style uh, Hotel Dusk. So I'm really happy about this game. It's definitely not for everyone because there's a lot of text in it, but I actually enjoy these graphic novel type games, so I'm really happy about that. And this game actually represents my 625th game for a Nintendo console. So yeah, really cool. Then in one of the breaks between the rain, I was able to go to a swap meet, and I picked up this game right here, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers for the Super Nintendo. I saw this game. I wasn't sure if I should pick it up because I remember playing two Power Ranger games as a kid that I rented. One was a beat 'em up game like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4, and the other one was a fighting game, kind of like Tournament Fighters from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So I wasn't sure about this one, but I couldn't remember. But I picked it up, popped it in onto the Super Nintendo, and yeah, it's the beat 'em up game. So I'm really happy because that's the one I like the most. And I remember, of course, the Power Rangers when I was younger, and even though it was kind of kind of cheap, it was also really cool. So I'm glad I was able to pick up this Power Rangers game. Then at that same place where I bought the Super Nintendo game, I found this one, a boxed Mission Impossible copy developed by Ocean. This is one of the first 64 games that came out. It wasn't a launch title, but it was one of the first generation 64 games that came out. It's sort of based on the movie, but of course they couldn't license Tom Cruise's appearance, so they had to change him into a generic looking character. But um, I think you could compare the gameplay to a Siphon Filter. I only played one Siphon Filter once, so I only have that as reference. But for its time, this game was really cool. Obviously, the graphics don't hold up anymore, but like I said, it was an earlier 64 game, so that's cool. and it's boxed. Here in Mexico, it's really hard to find a boxed 64 game. People throw out the boxes and only leave the cartridges. So always cool to find a boxed 64 game. It doesn't come complete; it's missing the manual, but still, it's boxed. Then everyone's probably made a video of this. I know Vidium made a video on it, and Dami-san and Johnny Depp fan. But as a Nintendo fan, I couldn't pass up buying it, and it's the Nintendo's 25th anniversary Super Mario Brothers, featuring Super Mario All Stars. This is actually, as anyone probably has already heard, a port of the one that came out on the Super Nintendo. And I've also made this comment in a lot of videos, and I'm really disappointed that Nintendo did not include Super Mario World. I can sort of understand why they did it, because it's the 25th anniversary of Mario on the NES. So it kind of makes sense that they didn't port the one that included Super Mario World, but still, for a 25th anniversary of the character, I still think they could have added it in there, and it would have been so cool to have all of those 5 games on a single disc. That would have been totally awesome, but Nintendo decided not to do it. But they did include a history soundtrack CD, which is a few. I've heard it's only a few tunes and sound effects, and a history booklet. Yeah, I already have the Super Nintendo version of this, so I might not open it because it's such a cool collectible in itself. But like I said, I'm a hardcore Nintendo fan, so I just had to get it. And for $30, I didn't think it was that bad. But it could have been so much better. Then at the GameStop where I picked up the Mario collection, they had the Game Informers, and the other stores told me that I couldn't pick up Game Informer anymore. So I asked at that store, and they said, yeah, sure, we'll still be getting Game Informers for a while. So because I'm a member, they gave me last month's issue, featuring again the top 30 most influential characters of the decade. But this is a variant cover. This one has the guy from Red Dead, the King of All Cosmos, the robot from that Star Wars game on the Xbox, Knights of the Old Republic, Enzo from Assassin's Creed 2 and Brotherhood, the girl Elena from Uncharted, got Nathan Drake from Uncharted, the boss from Snake Eater. I think that's the guy from Braid. The guy from Bioshock, and GLaDOS from Portal. So I just really like these covers. And I was also able to get this month's issue, which features Lara Croft in the new planned game, simply called Tomb Raider Lara Croft Reborn. Basically, what this new game is going to be about is that they're going to somehow show an origin game. They're going to reboot the Lara Croft franchise. But if you're a comic book collector or a comic fan, this is going to sound familiar. Lara Croft is on this ship, and there's this storm, and the ship goes down, and Lara Croft washes ashore in an island. So she has to survive by her wits and this crossbow that she carries. So, yeah, I guess Lara Croft is not going to be a Tomb Raider anymore, and she's going to become Green Arrow. So that's interesting. But the game looks cool, and I like what Crystal Dynamics is doing with the Lara Croft franchise ever since Tomb Raider Legend. So I'll give that one a chance. Also picked up some movies. I picked up La Era de Hielo, which is Ice Age. Like I mentioned before, I try to avoid English movies spoken in Spanish because the translation are just horrible, and it's weird seeing the face of an actor that speak a certain way with a different voice. Is just weird. But like I said, that doesn't happen with animated movies. animated movies work better because the actors doing the voiceovers add their own, their own humor and their own speech patterns to the character. So it really works. So Ice Age itself, I thought was a really cool 3D movie. Obviously, of course, it doesn't compare to anything done by Pixar, but this one comes close. This one's, I think, one of my favorite of the CGI movies. It's just funny, and the way the characters interact is cool, and this guy's funny. So, Ice Age. And I picked up a reissue of Pitch Black, uh, re- recalled as the Chronicles of Riddick, Pitch Black. This is an interesting movie. It takes a lot of elements from prior sci-fi horror movies. Uh, this ship crash lands on a planet, and the planet's about to go into a solar eclipse. So when everything gets dark, these really weird hammerhead shark things come out, and they start devouring each other and whatever's in their way. But what makes this movie cool is Vin Diesel's Riddick. He's a very interesting anti-hero. He's considered this total badass, and he is, but he really doesn't do anything bad in the movie. All the people that surround him are basically the ones that do worse things. So, but the Riddick character I thought was really cool, and this one has this really cool multicolored foil look to it, which I thought was really cool. The sequel, it's a it's bigger, and they showcase Riddick more, but I think this one's the better one because you don't know what to expect from Riddick. So I would definitely recommend Pitch Black more. And then I picked Michael Moore's Fahrenheit 9/11. I did not pay $10 for this. I paid like 10 pesos, which is around 80 cents. But I heard it was an interesting documentary, so I decided to give it a shot. And the last movie I picked up is actually a movie talking about movies. It's a movie called DVD called "The 50 Worst Movies Ever Made." They talk about all the 50 worst movies of all time. And they got Plan 9 from Outer Space, Santa Claus versus the Martians, Howard the Duck. All these movies that are considered really, really bad. And I thought it was interesting to see a movie talking about bad movies. But the price was good. Again, I only paid 10 pesos for this. So I decided to give it a shot. And at a second-hand store, I picked up these guys. They're Christmas ornaments by Hallmark. This Superman came out in 1993. But, with Christmas time around, I thought it was really cool to hang these guys up on the Christmas tree. And I just really, really liked the look of I picked up two because they only had two that I was interested in. Of course, Superman in his classic flying pose. I thought it was cool. Even when Christmas is done, I'm gonna tie it up somewhere in my room because it's a really, really cool design. And the second ornament that I picked up was this Star Trek from the original series. This came out in 1997. But it's Bones from the classic TV series. I just really like the way Bones is set up here in the transporter tube. He's ready to go in an away mission with Spock and Captain Kirk. So I really like this. I'm definitely gonna hang these on the Christmas tree, and like I said again, after Christmas is done, I'm gonna hang them somewhere in my room because they're as standalone things. They're really, really cool. I really like them. They're simple, but at the same time they're really detailed. So yeah, totally cool. So yeah, those were my pickups for this week. This is Vargas XX78 signing off.